Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining our webinar on artificial intelligence in official statistics. I'm Cristiano Tessitore from Eurostat, working in the unit in charge of methodology and innovation in official statistics. Today, I'll be your host. The webinar is going to be recorded and will remain available on our channels. This morning, there will be the contribution from Jean-Marc Mouzot, Chief Enterprise Architect of Eurostat, Brendan O'Dowd, Head of Data Science Division at Central Statistical Office of Ireland, and Petre Turliu, Team Leader of Reference Data Management and Data Dissemination. This webinar is organized by Eurostat as part of the celebration for World Statistics Day on the 20th of October. Please send a question to us via Slido. Code is 2726508. You can see the link here on the screen and on the Eurostat page. Now, let me start with a simple idea. AI is a tool, a catalyst, and an opportunity, but not an objective in itself. Our goal at Eurostat is not to do AI. Our goal is to provide high quality statistics faster, to produce new indicators that reflect the rapid changes in our economies and societies, and to make them easier for people to find, understand, and use. AI is valuable only if it helps to do that. Now, today, we will explore how we can apply AI in official statistics to increase efficiency, improve quality, and expand dissemination and accessibility. On efficiency, think of automating routine tasks like data ingestion, classification, and editing, so our statistician can focus on analysis and methodology. On quality, AI can assist with anomaly detection, imputation suggestion, and classification, always with human oversight to strengthen accuracy and consistency. About dissemination, think about conversational interfaces, smart search, and personalized data portals that can make our outputs even more accessible to everyone, like journalists, researchers, policymakers, and all citizens that need statistics to inform their decisions and choices. None of this replaces statistical expertise and professional judgment of statistician. It augments it. Responsible use of AI, ensuring transparency, privacy protection, and bias monitoring, is non-negotiable. In this webinar, we will emphasize critical importance of human-in-the-loop processes, clear governance, and reproducibility, so that the trust remains at the core of our work at statistical offices and at Eurostat. Here's how we will proceed. We will start with an overview of how AI enables and reinforces the work on statistical innovation. Then present to you progress made on AI-based solution for the ESS, fueled by an Eurostat grant. And then finally, what we are working on at Eurostat to make our data even more accessible to you and other statistical users. By the end of our webinar, I hope you'll see AI not as a destination, but as a set of tools that we can deploy to achieve our mission of delivering high quality statistics. Now let's start. Jean-Marc, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Cristiano. As you just said, artificial intelligence will significantly change the way we work. For us, as official statisticians, this raises two challenges. First, we need to measure how AI and other technology change our economy and society. Second, we need to understand how AI will change our own way of working and our place in the information society. And that's on the latter that I want to focus today, providing some insight on the benefit, risk, and challenge of innovating with AI. So the first question that arose is, are we ready to adopt, scale, and leverage the benefit of AI? On the one side, AI is a formidable means to boost statistical innovation, can help us to produce statistics that are even more relevant, timelier, and more detailed, while allowing us to work more efficiently. The second question is, are we ready to thrive in an information market driven by AI? Indeed, on this site, AI needs high quality data to work properly. data that are unbiased and reflect the diversity of our society. This creates a responsibility for us. Our trusted data must be AI ready, available in machine readable format so that it can be used for the common good. My contribution today will focus more on the first challenge. So the exploration of AI for official statistics is not new. Since the second half of the 2010s, let's say, with the explosion of the digital information and the so-called big data wave, we began experimenting with machine learning. This algorithm can detect in data, they can detect patterns in data that humans cannot easily see. For instance, since 2020, we collect data from the web on job advertisement, and instead of asking humans to classify them as we did in 1939 with the metro ticket, collecting to vacuums cleaner to identify most popular route in the London subway, now we use machine learning algorithm to assign to each online job advertisement we scrape an occupation code according to a standard classification. So we do this for the whole Europe, developing experimental indicators to monitor skill demands at EU level on a quarterly basis with no survey. So we are also testing the use of AI for other sources like satellite data. When they are combined with survey, they can, for instance, provide more detailed statistics on crops and better represent them on the statistical maps. So as you see, the use of machine learning and AI in general help us to reduce the cost of survey, the burden on citizen and enterprise, and improve timeliness, coverage, and detail of our statistics. So innovation is a must nowadays, and it's a collective effort. You cannot do innovation in isolation. So together with National Statistical Institute in the EU, we set up an innovation agenda for the European Statistical System. And not surprisingly, AI is one of its core priorities. But we are also exploring new technologies, like for instance, privacy enhancing technologies, to ensure that when we process data, sensitive data, we have the proper protection of this data, which is essential. So, however, opportunities come with risk, and I will illustrate this with few examples. One of our key challenges is the fast pace of change in the AI ecosystem. Just 4 years ago, almost no one had heard about generative AI, and we don't know where we will be in 2 years' time. So while we must adapt, our compass as official statistician remain the same: transparency, trust, and high quality. There is no other way than moving step by step, exploring new technologies, their benefits and risk for our work, monitoring the impact of each change, and putting in place safeguards where necessary. So the second one is to eliminate the risk in relation with statistical confidentiality. Protecting the information citizen and enterprise providers for statistical purpose is the foundation of our stakeholder trust. As AI brings new risk in this domain, we are putting in place robust safeguards. Let's take an example. We should privilege, if possible, synthetic data when training AI algorithms, or making use of AI-based security protocols to protect our system against cyber attack. In addition, there is a question of accuracy and transparency of the output produced by AI system. AI model can be very powerful, but they are also complex and their output are hard to explain. That's why we need to insist very strongly on transparency, the use and release of open source code when possible, and finding new way to measure and communicate uncertainty that result from the use of AI. Last, and recognizing that AI can enhance user experience, we have to recognize that it's not a panacea either. Raw AI output not yet processed by or evaluated by humans may be misleading. It does not always point to the right information. Hallucinations are well documented on that. And not everybody is equipped on and ready to interact with AI system. And if there is an AI system in the background, user needs to be informed and warned on the possible shortcoming of its output. As a general rule, human being, I mean us, Cristiano, Brendan, Petre, me, and other official statistics in general, will need to stay in the loop. AI will assist human, but it will not replace human. So I will conclude this short presentation reminding that, as any other AI system put in place in the EU, any related development in Eurostat and in the European Statistical System need to comply with the strong EU legal framework for AI, namely the AI Act, that provide guarantee that fundamental human value are respected when designing and using AI-based solution in the context of accomplishing our mission. Together with other statistical offices worldwide, we are making strong effort along this line to build guidelines for safe and responsible use of AI for official statistics. We are at the beginning of a new era. We know it. AI represents a formidable opportunity to improve our statistical service, reduce response burden, and deliver statistics that are well respond to the rapidly changing needs of citizens. But we will only succeed if we move carefully, step by step, starting small, piloting new AI tools, scaling up what works, and always keeping trust, confidentiality, and transparency at the heart of our innovation and development work. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Jean-Marc, for your intervention. I will now give the floor to Brendan O'Dowd. As said before, Brendan is head of data science division at Central Statistical Office of Ireland and will present today in his capacity of project lead of CSO coordination role of AI ML for OS, the Eurostat AI grant. Brendan, you have the floor.
Thanks for the introduction, Cristiano. My name is Brendan O'Dowd, and I am speaking on AI and machine learning for official statistics, which has the code AIML4OS. So let's get straight into it with an overview of the project by numbers. So there are 15 countries funded within this project. The total amount of funding is around €4 million, and that's spread over 4 years from project kickoff in April 2024 all the way through to March 2028. The project is split into 13 work packages, and we in Ireland are leading work package 1, which is project management and coordination. And we are trying to keep track of the 55 separate tasks and the 39 deliverables that need to be accomplished over the 4 years. So there's a lot going on within this project. The high-level objective of this project is to try to provide a comprehensive set of resources for implementing AI and machine learning and official statistics. So this idea of a one-stop shop or a single point of entry for statistical staff to make use of resources for AI and machine learning. But there's a lot of complementary goals that we want to achieve as well. We want to try to build communities around AI and machine learning and innovation in general. We want to support the transition from prototype to production. So this is a known problem whereby experiments remain as experiments and struggle to make it through to statistical production. So we're trying to help statistical offices to overcome that. We're going to provide working use cases that statistical staff will be able to take and use themselves. We're providing a sandbox for development. So that's an online computing platform that the entire project will be able to make use of in their experiments and development work. We're promoting shared standards and guidelines around the use of AI and machine learning. And we're also trying to deliver economies of scale. And that's really important because a lot of the challenges that face statistical offices are common to more than one country. They're common to lots of countries. So it makes sense that we would collaborate and work together to overcome those common challenges. This is an overview of the different work packages within the project. On the left-hand side are the supporting work packages, which support the functionality of the project, but also deliver some high-level goals. And on the right-hand side are the use case work packages. And the use case work packages are specific topics within AI and machine learning that are thought to be very important for statistical production in the coming years. So let's go through them. As I mentioned, we in Ireland are in charge of work package 1, which is the coordination, and then Italy are in charge of work package 2, which is the internal and external communication. France are heading up work package 3, which is the lab or the online platform for computing. Germany are leading work package 4, which is the state of play or assessing the different uses of AI across Europe. The Netherlands and Germany are jointly leading work package 5, which is around developing standards, methodology, and implementation guidelines. The Polish NSI is leading work package 6, which is about knowledge repository and training materials. So the idea there is that all the different resources that are developed in the other work packages would make their way into the knowledge repository so they could be used by staff around Europe. Moving on to the use case work packages then, the ones that are in bold, I'll go into a little bit more detail in the coming slides. So starting with work package 7 on Earth observation data, led by the Dutch NSI. Then 8 and 9 are quite closely linked. They're on editing and imputation, led by Germany and Spain, respectively. Work package 10 is on text to code, led by Germany. I'll go into that in more detail. Supply chain networks is work package 11, being led by the Dutch NSI. Sweden are leading work package 12, which is all about LLMs or large language models, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And then the last work package, number 13, is on synthetic data, jointly led by the Italian and Austrian NSIs. So taking a closer look into 3 of those use case work packages, starting with Earth observation data. So this work package is all about using AI models to turn satellite imagery into statistical data. So what they've decided to do is to take 2 models for analyzing satellite imagery and to use them in different countries to compare their usefulness and their accuracy. So the first model they're using is crop mapping, and that's about using satellite images of crops, of farmland, and trying to automatically classify what kind of crop is growing in different fields. And the second one is on land cover models, so breaking satellite images down into regions of different land cover and classifying those. Work package 10 is on text to code, and this is all about tools for assigning standardized classifications to text data. And that's a very common challenge within statistical offices. Very often we get text on things like business activity, products, occupations, and lots of other things, and they have to be coded into some kind of standardized classification. And this is often a manual task. So it's a really good opportunity for AI to automate. So what this work package has done is it's split into 5 clusters, and each of those is looking at a different challenge within this topic. And then work package 12 is on LLMs. They had a hackathon in Lisbon where they came up with 3 different prototypes that they want to pursue. The first is on creating text summaries for groups of large data sets. So that's trying to create a kind of a qualitative summary when presented with groups of large data sets. The second prototype is going to be about extracting data from annual reports. And the last one then is about extracting targeted pieces of information or content from company websites. And they also have a separate task underway, which is around describing the architecture or the technical infrastructure that's required for using LLMs in statistical production. So that's my overview of the project. I hope you found it informative. There's a couple of links here on my last slide should you wish to learn more. There's their LinkedIn page, and you can also access that from the QR code on the right-hand side. There's our dashboard on the EU's CROSS website, which is the second link. Then there's a link to GitHub where the code for the different work packages is being assembled. And you can also, if you wish to, sign up to our newsletter there, which is the last link. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Brendan. The next presentation is from Petre Turliu, team leader of reference data management and data dissemination at Eurostat. Petre, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Cristiano. So let's talk a bit about a new initiative that we have here in Eurostat for our users to interact semantically with the Eurostat data. To talk a bit about the background and why we're doing this, it's because we see that user consumption patterns are changing slightly. We see that users in various categories, they tend to use more AI-powered chatbots to interact with the data. And they're not just looking for data, they're looking for metadata, glossaries, methodology, and all sorts of information. So we want to do something about that. Now, if we are to talk about the challenges of these AI-powered chatbots, we have to keep in mind that most of them, they tend to reply with the data they were trained on. And most of the times, we don't know so much about that data. This is also coupled with the fact that these chatbots are configured in a way that they have to always reply. So when you combine the fact that we don't know so much about their data and the fact that they always have to reply, this means that this sometimes can lead to them replying with what are often called hallucinations, which is data which doesn't exist, but that they need to answer with. So we need to do something about it. And for this matter, we are starting off this project, which is about talking and interacting semantically with the data, the metadata, glossaries, and everything. This project actually consists of instantiating what is called a retrieval augmented generation database, a RAG database. We are analyzing all our content, looking at the specific of this content, which will then be fed to this database. So there are, of course, a number of points to mention about the project itself. We are working on several streams. One of them is that we are refining all the content. We are looking at all the content that we have publicly available to try to make the most out of it and to insert that into the RAG database. We are designing the system. We are fine-tuning the particularities of this content. And then ultimately, we will connect to the European Commission LLM service, which would be used as the engine for the solution. Now, for such a project to succeed, we need to ensure appropriate testing. So we have actually started testing even from this design phase. We have a core team of colleagues which are helping tremendously by testing from the beginning. Once the solution is ready, we will interact with more Eurostat colleagues, which will be able to test the solution and provide feedback. And when the solution is ready, we will reach out also to the external users to test the solution as well. So now we talked a bit about the testing. Maybe just to say a word or two about the challenges. There are two major points that we have identified so far. One of them is related to the fine-tuning. We have a number of content types publicly available, and we need to look very carefully at all the content specifics to make sure that the solution understands well this content, which will reduce the number of hallucinations as we go along. And another aspect, which we haven't really gotten to yet, is about performance. But this would come at a later stage. We're thinking about it, but we need to analyze it properly. So, having talked about these points, which are then the next steps, we are, as we said, designing the solution right now. Once everything is done, then we will insert all the public Eurostat content into the solution. We will test it well, and then it will surface online somewhere for external users to be able to interact with the data. And once this is done, and hopefully it will work well, we are also thinking about other use cases, such as instantiating some AI agents for very specific tasks. So this is pretty much it. Thank you very much for keeping up with me. I'll pass the floor to Cristiano then. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Petre, and thanks again to Brendan and Jean-Marc. I hope we managed today to provide you with a better idea about the transformative power of AI, but also about the risks and the challenges this technology is bringing for official statistics. Remember that you can send us questions via slido.com. The code is 2726508. If we don't manage to answer all your questions now, we'll follow up and send you answers. Now let's start with a question for Jean-Marc. What does it mean to make data AI ready? Jean-Marc, please.
Okay, I thank you, Cristiano. I think it was a bit addressed already by Petre, but we understand that AI will definitely change the information market and the way official statistics will be channeled to citizens, in particular with the application-based LLM. There's plenty of tools that are available for people to get information. So in this context, AI ready really means that data are prepared in a way that machines can use them safely and effectively. So that means also in practice to structure them very well, to describe them very well, that they are unbiased. This is an essential point to feed AI algorithm, and they are machine readable, so not just PDF. It also means, and that's also the challenge, that we should include clear metadata and documentation so that the algorithm, not human, but the human behind, of course, can understand and make sense of the data, what the data represents. So giving the meaning of the data that we expose. So there are many open issues, I think, with this respect, and we will have to address. It's also new for us. It means that we have to understand how We can interoperate with these bots, so we have to engage with these big providers, so to understand how it functions and how I can expose our data to these channels. But also some elements like how people will get sure that the data that come from us, an authoritative source on EU statistics. So these are elements to be explored. So we are not yet there, but AI readiness intend cover this aspect. There is also an element, so very important. So it means also for us to ensure that if we put the data there, of course they are aggregated, we put the data there, they respect privacy and the legal standard before they are used for training by AI system. I think I have covered this question. Back to you.
Thank you, Jean-Marc. Um, let's assign question number 2 to Petre. It's about the chatbot. Would the chatbot be able to reply with information from dataset? Petre.
Thank you very much. That's a good question indeed. The simple answer to this very good question is that yes, this would be possible. The system is designed to pre-vectorize all dataset metadata, including structural metadata, to know perfectly well what's inside datasets. It will then dynamically retrieve live data from these datasets. And this particular mechanism also ensures that the actual data points are the latest ones. So yeah, that will definitely be possible. Thanks, Christian.
Okay, perfect, Petre, thanks. Question number 3, Brendan, if I wanted to get involved in one of the work packages of AI ML for OS, how could I go about it? Brendan, up to you.
Thanks, Cristiano. Yeah, this is a question that we get a lot. So Ireland are coordinating the project, but all of the work packages operate with a high degree of autonomy. So a lot of them do engage with people that are not within the consortium. In terms of funding, that has already been assigned, so there won't be any more funding available to external partners. But people are more than welcome to contact either myself or the work packages directly. And they may be included in the meeting. So, but that's down to the individual work packages. So some of the links that were there at the end of my presentation could allow people to get in contact with us, and we can see what we can do from there. Thanks, Cristiano.
Thank you very much. I see a question. Are we talking about all AI systems or just generative AI? I can pick up. We are talking about all AI systems, as generative AI is just one category, is included into this pool. It's just one category, together with the traditional machine learning and predictive and autonomous systems. Question number 5, I see. How do you store the data in AI? I mean, infrastructure use. Quite a long question. Let's pick up the first part. I think Petre, can you answer this?
I'll try to answer this one. Thank you very much. So indeed, we will be running on the cloud technology. We will be instantiating databases there. We haven't decided yet on which cloud infrastructure we'll be using. We will be using Digit services for this. We will also be choosing the technology for the database at a later stage. What I can also share is that we will have several databases. We will first store the data. Then for those most familiar with the technology, we will chunk it, we will augment it, which means that we are optimizing it, and then it will be eventually vectorized in the last part of the process. Hope this covers it. Thanks, Cristiano.
Perfect, thank you. Next question for Brendan. How is ethical AI addressed in this project? Brendan.
That's a very good question, Cristiano. As you said yourself in the introduction, responsible AI is non-negotiable. So it's very much a priority for us working in national statistics offices. I mean, the technology has changed with the advances in AI, but the principles underpinning our work are still very much the same. So we're very much focused on confidentiality, data security, statistical non-disclosure. So those things have always been, big concerns for us, and that will continue to be the case. So in terms of how ethics is being approached within the project, within Work Package 5, which is standards, guidelines, and methodologies, they are addressing ethical AI within that. And we also liaise with a lot of other bodies around the world and around Europe that are looking at ethical AI and responsible AI. And I suppose that's important so that we're not duplicating work, but we're also able to kind of, I suppose, make use of some of the research and work that's going on elsewhere. So within that, we've been dealing with the UNECE. They have a group that's working on responsible AI, and we have also liaised with the Paris 21. There's a task team on AI there as well, which is also looking at ethical AI. So through, I suppose, within our own project and through collaborations and partnerships with other bodies, we've been we've been trying to address that important topic. So thanks, Christiana.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Next question I will assign to Petre. Would the chatbot be able to reply with information from other type of public dataset produced by Eurostat other than datasets?
Indeed, thank you very much. So the way we're designing the system is that we'll be injecting public Eurostat data. So not only data and metadata about data sets, but we're also looking at news articles, statistics explained article, and all sorts of publication, glossaries, and so on. So bearing in mind that we'll also be optimizing that information, then yes, the system should be able to respond with information from other type of data other than the data sets, for sure. Good question. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. And next one for Jean-Marc. How can Eurostat ensure that AI does not compromise confidentiality? Jean-Marc, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Cristiano. Indeed, again, insisting on that, protecting the information of citizens that citizen businesses provide to us is not negotiable principle as well. So, but it's important to distinguish two aspects in this question. So there are on one side statistical confidentiality. That means that when we release information, that we make sure that there is no personal information, no sensitive information that can be disclosed to this release. That means, of course, it's completely anonymized, but they are aggregated. But we have many methods that ensure that this is achieved. Actually, the nature of the risk with AI around is changing, or at least there are probably different disclosure risk at stake. Machine powered by AI make it much more easy to match information from different sources, and in this case, the risk of re-identification it may be higher. So it's probably higher. So that means that we need possibly to rethink in the future the way the type of protection benefiting from AI. Of course, one possibility is to release more synthetic data, but they are not exempt of risk. Also, they can be disclosive in certain circumstances. So we need to be careful and to address them. And there are actually also research project going along, not in this AI/ML for official statistic project, but in other project on statistical confidentiality. So we are taking it very seriously, and there is another form also of disclosure of information in case we would release, but it's very improbable at this stage. We would release or at least public would be facing an algorithm. There is always a risk that an AI algorithm that has been trained on sensitive data, or at least on some data, disaggregated data, can be used or break to release this information. It happens also with LLMs. This we need to be also careful. We are not yet there. We are not training and exposing such a model, but there are research on this aspect. The other side of the coin is data security. But it has been addressed in previous question. I think the data security. Of course, there are different forms of attack nowadays on our system, but we belong to the European Commission, so we have this security shield from the European Commission, and the AI tools are playing an important aspect there to detect anomalies in the behavior of our servers. So we are on that side mostly protected. Back to you, Cristiano.
Thank you. Thank you for the answer. I see the chatbot is quite trendy. For Petre, how do you see the chatbot replying to questions unrelated to statistics, or will any filtering be applied? Petre, please.
Thank you very much. Indeed, this is a hot topic discussing about chatbot nowadays. So yeah, this is actually quite similar to the question that I answered before, because we're preparing to embed almost, if not all, the Eurostat public documents, including publicly available glossaries, methodology, statistically displayed articles, news articles, and so on. We're also trying to optimize the intake of these documents so that we make the most out of what's inside. So in that respect, I'd say that the system should be able to reply to questions unrelated to statistical data sets. So whatever information we have publicly available, normally the chatbot would be able to reply without any issues. Maybe coming back to the second part of the question on filtering, yeah, we are planning on applying some filtering. We haven't decided it. There are multiple methods and libraries to be used for doing that. Most of the chatbots out there are using a form of content filtering, and we will be doing that as well, but it's still a bit early in the process to have all the details. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Petre. I see a question for Brendan. Aside from the topics covered by your use cases, what other emerging topics might be important in the coming years? Brendan, please.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I suppose, first of all, we've been lucky with the topics that we've chosen. I mean, this project was designed, it launched in 2024, but a lot of the design happened in 2023. So we picked 7 different topics for our use case work packages. And we've been lucky in that they're all still relevant. So they're all still very much the cutting edge. And I mean, because it's such a fast moving area that may not have been the case. So that was very fortunate. I suppose in terms of what other project or topics are very important right now and have emerged, well, LLMs have gone from strength to strength. There's still a huge amount of interest there, and that will continue to be important. And I suppose that also joins on to synthetic data that we're covering within another work package. AI readiness is a real buzzword at the moment that's kind of emerged since the project began. And I suppose that links in with the work that Petra is doing as well, and with LLMs as well. So that's become very important. I suppose governance and ethics are things that are always spoken about at statistical conferences, and as projects involving AI around Europe, I suppose, are moving from experiment onto statistical production. There's been more of a focus then on the governance and the ethics and the AI policy and the AI strategy. There's been more of a focus recently on making sure that the activities of NSIs are aligned with the intent, that there's a strategic alignment there between what we want to achieve and the actual activities that we're involved in relation to AI. So there's a bit of a mixture there, I suppose. There's the governance, there's the strategy, there's policy. These things are becoming, I suppose, more concrete as time goes by. And then there's, I suppose, of other emerging topics, LLMs and AI readiness are the ones that stand out. A lot around imputation as well, using AI to model target variables based on background data. So those are the ones I can think of at the moment. I hope that's helpful. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next question for Jean-Marc. How exactly can AI make statistics better or more useful for citizens? Jean-Marc.
Thank you for the question. I think, again, there's a combination of effect with AI, and AI is a means and not a goal in itself. So with AI, as I explained, or at least I mentioned in my presentation, we are able to deal with new data sources, which are usually big data, unstructured data. So this algorithm that we train on with real data, this algorithm can help to process them and to extract the meaningful information for making statistics, especially when combining with existing data source. So in this case, the quality is improved because you will probably get, because this source, like I mentioned, online job advertisement are almost exhaustive. You have to make choice, of course, and it's not trivial, but they're almost exhaustive. So you gain in the details you can provide. Because you combine these sources with existing sources. You cover new domain. In this specific case of online job advertisement, you have skills, which was a domain which was difficult to grasp from an official statistic point of view. So now we are gaining agility and we have good coverage. Of course, we deliver experimental statistics in this context. But so we provide
more information on certain topic thanks to AI. The second aspect is the speed. Probably the speed is indeed with AI you go quick. You should go safely, but you go quick, so you can gain in automation, and in case of emergency, you can also deliver more quickly, probably. Uh, the last aspect in terms of quality is that with this new type of system, you can put control into your process. So that means you have more assurance on your process. You can put much more automatic control on the quality of your process, so that you are at the end you are confident on the output. So you gain in quality assurance. So let's say more detailed, more timely, more higher quality with a higher quality insurance are essential element for the what we will gain with AI. So I think back to you, Cristiano.
Thank you very much. Next question for Petre. It will be possible in the future to expand the application, I think in the chatbot, to include more detailed local data available from the National Statistical Institute. Petre.
Thank you very much. Indeed, that's something that we could look into. I mean, for the time being, as part of the content that we are looking at ingesting, embedding, and vectorizing, we are also considering the reference metadata files, which are very important. They contain a lot of methodological aspects and information about data sets. We also have on our website the national metadata file, so we could have a quick look at that. I mean, we can even go beyond that, but the most important aspect here is about how to actually get the data. Most of the times we're going through APIs, which is an easy way to get them. So we have to see what is available and how we can get updated information retrieved from maybe from other endpoints, other APIs out there. Maybe another aspect which may complicate a bit this aspect is about languages used. So we have to consider multilingualism. Right now, we're focusing quite a bit on English. So if we are to look a bit closer at this, then it would mean we will have to see which LLMs would be best suited for this. We need to provide appropriate testing, and we will need to see if the results would be the ones that we expect. But yeah, that's a very good idea. So point taken. Thank you very much, Cristiano.
Okay, thank you. I think probably it's the last question. Brendan, what types of AI tools or methods are already being used successfully by statistical offices? Brendan, please.
Okay, what kind of tools or methods are being used? Well, there's quite a lot already in use, right the whole way across the pipeline of statistical production. Just on that pipeline of statistical production, we have a process model that's used across Europe called the General Statistical Business Process Model, or GSBPM, and it kind of tracks the production of statistics all the way from data collection right the way through to dissemination and review. So there is potential for AI to be used at almost every step, and we see a lot of that already. You know, around data collection, you would see AI being used around things like smart surveys, where AI is used to enhance the data collection process. You know, sometimes that data collection AI is used to classify in real time or to generate follow-up questions to users to you know to better understand the different categories that are required for questions. Yeah, AI is used a lot with data processing as well. Some NSIs use AI for support in writing code or in translating code from one language to another. We had a project on that, actually using LLMs for translating SAS code to R, so to use a more open source languages in our data processing. It's used a lot for automation, for classification, for imputation, and that's happening right now. I mean, that's not in the future. That's real. And also at the other end of the production pipeline, then around dissemination, we see a greater use of chatbots. So some of those are in use today in a couple of different countries across Europe, and yeah, I suppose that there is a lot. Yeah, I hope that answers the question for the viewer who posed that. Thanks, Cristiano.
Thank you, Brennan. I think so. You replied. So we came to the end of this webinar. I would like to thank our speakers and all the followers on the various channels. Please participate in our short survey via Slido, and remember that you can contact our multilingual user support for further questions. The address is posted in Slido. I wish you a fantastic World Statistics Day on the 20th of October. Ciao.